Guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing a run through on how to create your Express Entry profile, which is valid for just 1 year. So to start with, you need to create my CIC account. That's if you don't have one already. So when you successfully created your my CIC account, then you need to start filling up all the details that are required of you. And to fill up these details, of course, you need your passport available, you need your ECA, that's your WES verification, you also need your IELTS result so you can fill up these details. If this sounds like something you're interested in, or you have someone who needs this information, please stick around with me and I'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. So a little recap on my last video where I shared tips and tricks on how to ace your IELTS test. Please, if you missed that video, kindly check this link up there. Back to the agenda for today. So to create your Express Entry profile, like I said before, you need to sign up on my CIC account. You need to have my CIC account. Then you also need to get your passport ready, the biodata, because there's some information they will be asking and you need to fill up those information. Another document is to have your certifications, all your degree certifications and every certifications you have, because they'll be asking you questions around that. Then the next question or the next document you should have is all your job details. That's, for example, if you had worked in company A from July to December 2017, or you worked in company B from July, let's say July 2017 to December 2019, to have that written on a spreadsheet. Then the next document you need is to have your work documents available right in front of you. So what I did was I just wrote all the places I've worked, the start date and the end date of all the places I've worked. I wrote them on a sheet of paper before I started applying, so it was easier for me to get that done. Then for the NOC, which means National Occupation Classification, you need to choose an NOC that best describes your job description. I don't know if you get me, but what I'm trying to say here is, for example, you are a retail advisor and that's your job title, or your job description states that you manage the store, and you also participate in training people, and you do your job description. You have to look for an NOC that speaks to that job description, not your job title, because there are so many people that have job titles and they do something differently, like their job description is different. So once you're picking your NOC, please pick an NOC that speaks to your job description. So this simply means that you need to pay attention on the NOC job duties and relate it to your own job description. And this is important because when you are submitting all your documents, one of the documents you would submit is your employment reference letter. And in that reference letter, part of the requirements that needs to be in that reference letter is your job duties. You understand? And the hours that you've worked. So all those job duties, all the job duties like JD, job duties, all those job duties and descriptions would be written there. So that is why it is important that you match your job duties to the job duties of the NOC you're picking for your Express Entry program. And also for this part of NOC, you need a minimum of 1 year experience, 1 year job experience. Then another document that you need is your IELTS. There's this part where they write TRF. You'll need that number to input on your Express Entry profile while you're filling it. Then you also need your ECA report number. That's your WES verification number. Once you verify your WES, they'll give you a verification number. You'll need that verification number while applying for your Express Entry application. Then you also need to impute your proof of funds. Proof of funds is going to be another topic entirely, but you need to impute your proof of funds. How much do you have? How much are you bringing to Canada? There are different amounts that are required for people, so you need to get those information and also populate the amount that is required of you. I'm going to be doing a detailed video on proof of funds so I can explain better. While creating your expense entry profile, there are questions that are going to be asked. That's why I'm trying to give you that advice that you need to get all these documents ready right in front of you. So as they're asking that questions, you don't need to go and start looking for one document or the other. You just start to populate those requirements and those answers. After submitting your profile, this automatically puts you in a pool with thousands of people where you will be given a score based on your age, on your language, and your ECA, your certifications, and every other document that you have submitted. After you input all those documents, you are going to be given a score. Then you submit your profile. The express entry draw is usually done bi-weekly, but sometimes we've had cases where the draw was done twice in a week, and the highest score you can get for the draw is 1,200. That's even for those that go through the provincial nomination route. But for the express entry route, the higher you score, the chances that you get picked from the pool. And that's why I always advise that you please try and study hard for your IELTS. I know other certifications that you can get before you start your express entry program, just to give you that leverage, to give you that high score. So when there's a draw, there's some people in the pool that still have like 300 score. And the draw nowadays is more than 400. The express entry profile is just valid for 1 year. So I always advise people, be prepared before you start this program. Just don't start and expect that you would have that high score. Before you even start applying, be prepared. If you need to have a certification, you need to increase your IELTS score, please do so you don't wait in the pool for long. And I'll give another advice. Please, once you submit your express entry profile, just don't submit it and go about your business. Of course, you can go about your business, but always look out for the draw. Always look out for the next draw that is going to happen, because you have 60 days. Okay, for example, I like giving examples so you understand better. So for example, the draw for today is 446, yeah? And you have a score of 448, but you didn't check. You just have 60 days from that draw to submit your application. That's your permanent resident application before it expires. See my time, I was checking the draw. I knew that my score was low, but I was checking the draw every time to be sure. And that also helped me, because when there was a draw like this week and my score was still very low, and I waited for like 2 draws and the score was still very low, I had to write IELTS to support my spouse. You understand? That gives you the opportunity to make a decision quick. But if you just create your profile and you just leave everything there, you don't even monitor it, you would lose out. Another thing is, if you don't get an invitation to apply for 1 year, your express entry profile becomes invalid. So you need to create another profile, that is another express entry profile, if you don't have invitation to apply for 1 year. Yeah, now, so I'm going to be sharing 4 tips to take into consideration before or after you submit your express entry profile. The first tip is that you please check for mistakes before you submit your express entry application. Please check for mistakes. Mistakes like your name, mistakes like your date of birth. Me, I make mistakes on dates. You understand? So I always pay attention and go back to the dates to make sure that it tallies. And that's why before I got to this part, I said you should get all those documents ready. You think it's too much, but it's not. So you always please try to pay attention to all the details, small details that you feel don't matter, my dear, matters a lot. So for example, my name is Sarah and I miss an A. That's not Sarah anymore. So those little details matter. So please always check for mistakes before you submit your application. If possible, take it to someone else, someone in neutral eyes, because there are sometimes when you are filling those applications, you get tired. Take it to your spouse, or if you and your spouse is doing it together, better, take it to another person. I took my own application to another person to help me go through it, because you can't afford to make any mistakes. So please pay attention to details, right? The second tip is that you use an email that you have access to. Please use an email that you can easily access, not just have access to, you have it on your phone. So it's not the one that they send you an email and you don't get it in 5 days because you've not opened your system. Please always have your email, the email that you use for this express entry, have it on your phone. And you know, always check it. Check for your junk, check in your spam, check your deleted. Me, I was checking every day, even when I know that I'm not expecting anything. I always check to be sure that, you know, something has not popped up and, you know, I've missed it. So please, and you can only do that if you have your email accessible. Once you get invitation to apply and you don't submit your documents, all the documents, required documents needed from you in 60 days, the invitation to apply is gone. The invitation to apply is over. So please, you can only do this if you don't miss any emails at all. The third tip is that you pay attention to all your deadlines. You can't afford to miss your deadlines. For example, this one I said now that, you know, your invitation to apply, you need to submit all your documents in 60 days. Please pay attention. Submit that document before even 30 days. Because the faster you submit these documents, you know, the better for you. The faster, you know, they start working on your application. So don't wait till day 59. You now start submitting, and before you know it, network is down and you cannot submit. Please don't even go through that stress. Try and submit all your documents early. You don't know, you know, any interference that might happen while you're submitting your application, and you don't want to miss the deadline. Please always check your deadlines. Last tip is that you please start preparing your documentations. So after you submit your express entry profile and you are picked from the pool, that you're given invitation to apply, and you accept the invitation to apply, you start your permanent resident profile. In this permanent resident profile is when you have, you know, a placeholder where you start attaching all that is required of you. For example, when you start your express entry profile, you know, you were just putting all those dates, all the things that you had, you never attached anything. But once they pick you from the pool video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys documents that is required of you before you submit your permanent resident profile. And these documents, of course, is also has to do with your IELTS, your proof of funds. You know, the proof of funds that you said you have. If you say you have like $100,000 in your account, you need to provide the documents for that. I know other document that is required of you, so I'm going to be doing a detailed video on all those documents that you need to submit. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end of this video. If you're already a part of this community, I say big thank you. If you want to join our community, we welcome you. Please just click the subscribe button and please share this video. You don't know who might need this video. Yeah, so thank you guys. See you all next week, where we'll be talking about documents that is required for you to have before you start your permanent resident application. Yeah, have a beautiful day. I love you guys. Bye.